Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, then welcome. My name's Christina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. And today we are going to be talking about all of my quarter 2 empties. I do this every single quarter. I sit down, I talk to you guys about every product that I have emptied in the last 3 months or so. Right now I'm doing it a little bit later than I typically would, but I still cut it off at the end of the quarter. So that's like the beginning of July, I believe. I have hair care, body care, skin care, makeup, all the things, guys. All of the good, great, maybe not so great things. I love doing these videos because it kind of gives you insight on a product even more in depth. It gives you all of my thoughts throughout the entire lifespan of the product, and sometimes I'll start off loving a product or even hating a product, and then at the end of using it, I will completely change my mind. I've seen that happen a couple of times now, so I just feel like it's really useful information for you guys, and also it gives you a little bit of an update on products I may have talked about in the past. As always, everything I'm going to be talking about today will be linked in the description box down below for you guys, as well as linked in my YouTube shopping tab. You can shop all of these things through either one of those. If you do shop through them, they are affiliate links, so I do earn a little bit of a commission. I really appreciate when you guys shop through them. However, you're not obligated to, but it's there if you want it. I have my big basket right here full of my empties, and we're just going to go through this as quickly as possible. Starting off with the very best setting spray I've ever used. This is the One Size Until Dawn mattifying setting spray. This I've talked about plenty of times. I don't really think I have to give it much of an introduction, but this comes out as an aerosol can. It is more like a hairspray versus your more traditional setting spray. I find that this one is like a setting spray. I would not suggest using this to spray down your face in between layers or anything unless you really want your makeup to stay in place and you're using mainly powders. This will lock in your makeup for an entire day plus. I have worn my makeup for hours and hours, like past 12 hours before, and my makeup will still look really fresh whenever I spray it down. It does have a very heavy fragrance though, so I would suggest that if you're gonna use this, just hold your breath and then spray it. I wish that they would come out with a fragrance-free version. I feel like it's only a matter of time until they do. It's just the best. I may be picking up a travel size one soon because I do have some travel plans coming up. The Rare Beauty Flexible Hold Styling Gel or Brow Gel. This is probably like my top brow gel because it gives you very soft brows, but your brows will stay in place all day. You can get that laminated look if your brow hairs are thin enough to where they want to stay in place. My brow hairs are very thick and they're slightly heavy because of that, so they tend to droop down even when I really laminate my brows down. I prefer to go for something a little bit feathery, so they're still kind of like standing up, but they stay in place. You also have a lot of flexibility with this, so if you decide halfway through the day that you want it to stand a little bit higher, you could go in with a little bit more, and it should kind of be malleable enough to where you can reshape your brows without having to break a gel cast or anything like that. But I will say that you have to be quite careful with this as you've had the tube open for a longer amount of time, because you start to get brow pencil gunk in there, maybe brow pen residue and stuff in there. So it starts to kind of mix with the gel, and then you can start getting pilling, or your product can sort of ball up if you're not careful. And I would always recommend to wipe your brush off before and after using this. I like to wipe it off before going in to my brows, and then I'll wipe it on a paper towel so I don't pick up any excess product and put it into the tube. But other than that, the actual formula, I love this. I continue to repurchase this. I have not found anything that I am addicted to as much as this for my brows. Next up, we just have this mini size of the Kosas Plump and Juicy Collagen Lip Boost. This is essentially a lip balm from Kosas. I got this, I think, as a gift with purchase or something along those lines, and I really enjoyed the way that this wore on my lips. I really liked using this before I worked out. It has that perfect in-between texture, so it's slightly thinner than my usual everyday lip balm that I use to actually actually hydrate and penetrate my lips. So it was hydrating enough to where my lips didn't feel dry and it wasn't distracting throughout a workout, but it wasn't too thick to where my like hair would stick in my face whenever I was working out, you know? Like sometimes if I use a lip balm that's a little bit too thick for an actual workout, like what I prefer, say like the Summer Fridays or the Naturium lip balms, I love those on a daily basis, but I don't necessarily love wearing those whenever I work out. This one is great for those times when I don't want to use those. It's a clear lip balm. It's like pretty no fuss, and it wasn't distracting to where I liked it enough to actually purchase a full size. So I have that in my gym bag currently. Up next, we have this Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask. This one is in the Juicy Watermelon scent, and I love the scent of this. It smells like a watermelon Jolly Rancher. It doesn't smell like fresh watermelon. It definitely has a little bit of a candy scent, but it's light enough to where it's not like sickly sweet, you know what I mean? This lasted me a very, very long time because I honestly didn't feel like I needed a lot whenever I was using this on my lips. I like to use like my lip masks during both my AM and PM skincare routine, so that's the reason why I use it morning and night. This one has a really nice medium consistency. I would say it's thinner and less like pudding-like than the Laneige lip sleeping masks, but it's definitely slightly more thick than other lip sleeping masks that I've tried. This is like the perfect combination of thickness and plumping to the lips. It does have a slight hint of color, but honestly, if you were to look at it on the lips, you would probably just think it was clear, you know? Like it is red in here, but it does like swipe onto the lips pretty much clear. This does have a little bit of a plumping feature to it. I don't know if it has the same strength as the lip glosses. I don't necessarily think it does. However, I do think that whenever I would wear this before bed, I would wake up and my lips would look more plump and hydrated. I don't know if they looked more plump because they were hydrated. Either way, I felt like my lips always looked really, really healthy the next morning. I didn't feel like this slipped and slid all over my face while I slept. It's just such a good lip mask, and I think I have another one of the Juicy Watermelon in my collection in my PR, and I also have the Vanilla Mint one, and I think I'm going to open that one up just because I've had that one longer and I've just been really eager to start using it. But I enjoy these a lot. I think that they are incredible products. They feel really nice and hydrating, and that's mainly all I want from a lip sleeping mask. I really do not have to say too much about this product because I talk about this in like every other video, but this is my Bobbi Brown color corrector in the shade Peach. I finally just went ahead and gave up on this. You can see a little bit of product just like sitting in there, but it's kind of like not easy to use anymore, so I went ahead and chucked it because I already have a new one that's ready to be used. But I love this color corrector for an all-over color correction product. I'm realizing that I like this more on my actual face than my under eyes. I don't really find it too necessary for a color corrector under my eyes because I'm lucky enough to where my bags aren't too intense, you know, but my hyperpigmentation can definitely use a lot of help. This just kind of counteracts the hyperpigmentation so that when I put foundation and concealer on top, I don't get that like gray cast that some hyperpigmentation can give you. You know what I'm talking about? Like sometimes you can see the shadow of your hyperpigmentation underneath those types of products. So a color corrector like this will just kind of cancel it out and your face will just look more naturally even. I love this consistency because it is slightly thicker. I enjoy that because it just stays in place a lot better than a color corrector that tends to be more liquidy and more thin. This is just incredible. It is a very small pan. However, I will say that this lasts a very, very long time. I think during like the winter Sephora sale, I repurchased a new one, but it took me up until now to actually finish this. This I think lasted me for a year, if not more than that. Moving right along to skincare empties. The first one we have is right here. This is the Dalba White Truffle Double Serum and Cream. This is like a dual moisturizer, and Dalba is actually sponsoring this video today, which is perfect because I finished this up completely. I did a partnership with them back in the springtime, and I've done one with them previously last year. I've talked about their spray serum. I talked about this, and essentially what this is, it's a double, like dual action moisturizer, and it has a gel texture side and it has a more creamy side here, and you can customize how much you use of either side based on what your skin may need. And I loved using this as a primer for my makeup. If you guys aren't familiar with Dalba uses white truffle in all of their ingredients, and the reason why is because white truffle is actually a really effective antioxidant, more effective than other antioxidants such as like propolis. And this moisturizer actually has one side, like I said, is an aqua serum, so it's a lightweight hydrating skin relief side, and then the other side is more of an intense cream, and this one is going to help with nutrition and elasticity and give you a little bit more of like rich extra moisture on the skin. Like I said, my favorite way to use this was to use it as makeup prep because I was able to completely customize how much I could use of either side depending on like what my skin was looking like that day. I have oily skin, so I use 2 parts of the aqua serum and then 1 part of the intense cream. If you have dry skin, you can do 2 parts of the cream, 1 part of the aqua serum, and maybe if your skin is more balanced, you could do a 1-to-1 ratio. But honestly, you can customize this as much as you want on a day-to-day basis, which I really enjoy. Another great thing about this product is that it was tested for acne prone skin, which you guys know I'm acne prone and oily, and it has a really light scent. I found that it didn't bother my skin at all. It's kind of like this really subtle citrus scent, which is super refreshing. And the finish of it does completely dry down, but it has a little bit of this like tacky feeling that's perfect to have like your makeup grip on top of it, and it gives you what they call the truffle glow. So your skin looks super glowy and hydrated right away after using this, even after it dries down. And Dalba's actually going to be participating in the Amazon Prime Day deals on July 16th and July 17th. This moisturizer is going to be part of it, so I highly recommend if you're in the market for a makeup primer slash moisturizer type of deal. This one I feel really confident in recommending just because of how customizable it is. So if you're planning on shopping the Amazon Prime Day deals, definitely give this one a try. Talking about a couple of cleansing balms, and starting off with this one, which actually I think was the very first cleansing balm I had ever tried, and since then I have loved this. This is the Farmacy Green Clean Cleansing Balm. So you can't see because obviously it's empty, but this is kind of like a very subtle green shade when you first get it, and it has this like fresh citrusy scent, but it's not irritating. It's not too intense, you know, to where it's annoying for me. And not only is this really cute because of the green color, and not only does it smell really good, but it works so well. This has the perfect texture when it comes to a cleansing balm. Whenever you put this in your hands and you rub your hands together, it just melts down super quickly into like an oil, like a cleansing oil, and then you rub it into the skin. It feels very thin whenever you have it on the skin. Doesn't feel like it's leaving a film. It doesn't clog your pores or anything like that, and it emulsifies with water really well. So it gets all of my makeup off very well before I go in with my second cleanse. I do find though with my mascara, I have to go in with a separate remover, but I do that with any cleansing balm or cleansing oil because I have like a separate mascara remover, which I'm going to be talking about later. But other than that, this works so well. It's not abrasive. It's not annoying. It's just the best. It feels really nice. It's so simple and it works really well. I think this is the smaller one because I remember getting it in some sort of like Sephora kit of some sorts, but I enjoy this a lot. I took this traveling with me and it always does the job. Another cleansing balm that I finished up and really enjoyed is this Heimish All Clean Mandarin Cleansing Balm. This one had a slight citrus scent. It definitely is like their citrus one because it's the mandarin. They have other ones too. I think I tried the original and I really liked that one. So I tried the mandarin one and it's very similar to the Farmacy one in texture. So I would say they're both equally as thin as each other. This melts down into an oil really nicely and it gets all of the makeup off, doesn't leave any sort of residue, and it also emulsifies with water really well. Like I mentioned, I do go in with a separate mascara remover. However, I do find with this one, it does kind of work a little bit of that mascara off better than the Farmacy one does, but it doesn't completely remove it. Because I use Asian mascaras, those are a lot more stubborn when it comes to removal. You really only need a small amount of this for your entire face. So this big old tub lasted me a very long time. So you do have the option to either flip the top right there or to twist it off. I always just flipped it. I don't know, maybe it's just like personal preference at that point, but you do have the options. And by the way, do you guys keep this little part that like it comes with? I always did, because the spatula, I would like put this on top and then put the spatula there. You guys let me know, because I don't know what the intended time to toss that is. I'm always curious about that. Next is another cleansing balm, but it comes in this tube and it's called a cleansing jelly. This one is from the brand Bloom Effects, and they actually sent this to me a very long time ago, and I decided that I was going to use this for travel just because this tube is so much more convenient than like a jar like the Heimish or the Farmacy one. I used this for a very long time. The consistency is very reminiscent to aloe vera, but honestly it's a lot more thick than your standard aloe vera gel. There's a tiny little bit right there that you guys might be able to see. I don't know how much you'll be able to see that because I did like pretty much use it up, but at some point I was like, okay, I'm done with this. And when you rub it between your hands, there's a little bit of like friction and it tugs a little on your skin before it really melts down onto the skin. It's not an immediate meltdown like those other cleansing balms. This one definitely takes a little bit of work to get into the skin, and then you take some water and you slowly add it so it emulsifies and it starts to break up that makeup. It was fine, but to be quite honest with you guys, that thicker jelly texture I wasn't a huge fan of. It just doesn't feel like it's cleansing on the skin. I just felt like it was a little bit too much. I don't know if it's because I tend to break out while I travel just naturally, but I felt like every time I would travel, I would break out, and this was like the consistent thing that I would be using as I was traveling that I didn't have in my everyday skincare routine. So it may be this, it may be the stress of travel, it may be a factor of both, but I don't think that I'm going to be repurchasing this. I did use it up just so I could, you know, say that I used it all. But yeah, not a huge fan of this one, unfortunately. I mentioned earlier about a mascara remover, and this is the one that I was talking about. This is the Heroine Speedy Mascara Remover. It looks just like a mascara tube. It is a mix or a blend of different oils that allow you to like brush it into your lashes to slowly like eat up your mascara, and then you can remove it. It's so much less messy than like an average mascara remover that you would like have in a bottle, you know, and you put it on a cotton pad and then you like rub it on your face. This one does have that comb wand that fits perfectly in your eye, and you can just like brush it on exactly like mascara. I like to put it on and then I will go ahead and do my face with cleansing balm or cleansing oil, and then right before I start to emulsify that, I take a cotton pad and I'll just place it onto my lashes and wipe it away, and it works perfectly. It's the best, and I'm able to just like get all of my stubborn Asian mascaras off of my lashes with no residue. It's incredible. I do recommend that you use a cotton pad though with this, because if you try to emulsify your cleansing balm or oil on your face and then like rub your eyes with it as well with this on there, it does feel kind of oily and slippery, and you do risk getting it in your eyes. So personally for me, the best way has always been to rub it off with a cotton. I've gone through, I think maybe 2 or 3 bottles of this now, and I already have another one open in my bathroom. A couple of my second cleanse face washes, the ones that I use specifically for my acne. This one is the I Do Care Cleans It Away. This one has 1.5% salicylic acid, and I like to use salicylic acid during my AM skincare routine, and at night I will use benzoyl peroxide. I find that's the best mixture for my skin type and my type of acne. This is a foam cleanser, which I think is super unique for salicylic acid cleansers at the drugstore at Ulta. This is an Asian skincare brand from what I understand, and they're huge on foam cleansers, and I just love a good foam cleanser. I love the sensorial feel of it. It's really fun to use, but not only is it fun to use, the smaller molecules of the foam cleanser allow your cleanser to get deeper into your skin, but it's still really gentle. And I find that this one does not overly dry my skin out. It works really well with all of my other skincare products in my AM skincare routine. And sometimes if I have a really stubborn, pesky acne, I can still use this face wash. I'll dry my face and then I'll put my spot treatment on it that has benzoyl peroxide, and I don't find that it's overly drying on my skin. I have one open in my bathroom. I finished this one up, and I think before this I had another one, or maybe this was my first one. I don't know. I don't remember at this point, but it's a great one. Highly recommend it if you're in the market. And of course, I can't leave out my Panoxyl Acne Creamy Wash. This is a 4% benzoyl peroxide, and this is the face wash that I use at night. I use this every single night. I slather on a really thick layer all over my skin. I leave it for about 3 minutes or so, and then I will work it into my skin and wash it off. It's incredible. It has seriously healed my skin of acne, or like cystic acne essentially, and I cannot go without this. I have a thing of the Neutrogena makeup remover wipes. I tell you guys this every time, but I can't use these on my face. It will break my face out almost immediately. I strictly use these when I film videos. If I do swatches on my hands or my arms or something, that's when I will use these. I always have them on hand. They're super handy for swatches. They don't irritate the rest of my body, only my face for some reason. I like it for like video purposes, but I would not use these on my face. Here are my Silcot 1.5 cotton pads. These are Japanese cotton pads, and I really enjoy these because think of like your standard Target or Ulta cotton pads. Those are really fluffy, like you can almost kind of like pick it and make it fluffier, you know what I mean? These are very thin, and they work so well to soak up just enough product without using an excessive amount and wasting it. I love to use this as like a makeshift mask, like a sheet mask. Actually, I have some in here. Let me grab them. I have a fresh box here. They're kind of wavy, and they come in 2. So it's right here, and it's actually 2, and they're perforated, so you can like pull them apart here, and they're very thin, as you can see, so it just soaks up exactly the amount that you need. I'll take any sort of hydrating toner and I'll just put it on the cotton pads. I'll stack it like this. Once it's soaked in, I will just place it on my face, and because it has these little edges, these contours, it fits perfectly right here. Or you can use it right here on your forehead. You can do it here on your chin. It sticks perfectly because it is super thin, and once it's wet, it'll stay there, and it works exactly like a sheet mask, except you don't have to go out and buy single-use sheet masks. You have like an entire box here, and I love these. I cannot go without them. The only sunscreen empty that I have this time around, which is very surprising, but I guess it's my only empty because I had so many in rotation these last couple months, but this is the Roundlab sunscreen. This is a very popular one in Asian skincare, and I really enjoy this. It's more of a creamier sunscreen when it comes to Asian sunscreens. I wouldn't say that it's thick in like the Western definitions, but it's thick when it comes to if you're thinking of like watery sunscreens, you know. It does not leave a white cast, even though this comes out white. I have a little bit that I can show you guys. So it does come out completely white, but you can rub this into the skin, and as you can see, it almost instantly disappears. It's a nice lightweight sunscreen if that's what you're looking for, and because of that creamy like formula, it does leave you feeling very, very hydrated. So you do feel this on the skin pretty heavily for the first couple minutes, but then it like dries down really nicely. Personally for me, when it comes to my Asian sunscreens, I like something that's more of a watery texture. I enjoyed this one, but I feel like you may like this more if you have more normal to dry skin type. But other than that, it was really good. And I found that I liked using this the most when I was going to do my makeup immediately after doing my skincare, or maybe I was going to reapply my sunscreen and then put makeup on. I would use this because, like I said, it leaves your skin feeling very hydrated. Now we kind of have like this serum moisturizer hybrid product. This is Stratia Liquid Gold, but they recently renamed it to Lipid Gold, I believe. This is the old packaging and the old name. This is a great product if you find that you have a compromised skin barrier. This feels like a very soothing and balancing moisturizer on the skin. However, I really enjoyed this because you could also use it as a hydrating serum step. It was thin enough to where you could use it as a very thin, creamy serum. So if I felt like my skin was super irritated, maybe I was breaking out a ton and I needed a lot of like skin barrier recovery, I would use this and then I would layer my moisturizer on top of it at the end of my skincare routine at night. Or if I felt like my skin was very balanced, I wanted something that was a little bit lightweight, but still a little bit thicker than like a gel moisturizer, I would reach for this one as my moisturizer. So I really like that it's super versatile. It's very soothing on the skin. I find that my skin really drank this up. It never felt greasy. It never felt heavy on the skin. And I just overall really liked it. The biggest con about this, honestly, was the packaging though. You can see right here the little dots and like the letters. Oh, I think I even have it. Yeah, look on my fingers. I have like the writing on my fingers. So it started to at some point come off of the actual packaging here. Like, see, you can see it on my fingers, which is really funny. I don't know if it's because I keep my skincare in my bathroom and maybe it was too humid and it started to like rub off of here, but that was so annoying because I would use it, but I couldn't touch the packaging because when I would rub my fingers together and then put it on my skin, I would have like the letter B or C or A or something on my face, which was so funny. And at first I like really didn't know what it was because the little dots were coming off first and I was like, why do I have white dots all over my face? So, but they fixed that completely. They removed that, I believe, from the new packaging, and that's not even an issue anymore. So that was my only con. Other than that, it's a great product. Now we have the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream, and honestly, I go back and forth on eye cream all the time, whether it's necessary or not, whether you can just use a really moisturizing moisturizer or if, you know, an eye cream is better. Honestly, I feel like eye cream is so similar to moisturizers that it's not always necessary. But if I were to pick an eye cream, I would always pick this one. It's supposed to kind of brighten your under eyes because it does have vitamin C in it. And I enjoy this consistency because while it's a cream, it's very thin and lightweight to where you can rub it into your skin right away. You don't have any residue. You don't have the product like streaking back and forth under your eyes, you know what I mean? And then once it fully absorbs, you can almost see the brightness under your eyes. So it gives you an incredible base for makeup. It also just brightens up your under eye even if you're going for no makeup that day. I find that my under eyes just look more plump and bright and awake. So this is an incredible eye cream. I highly recommend it if what you're looking for is a little bit of a touch of brightness and a lot of hydration without clogging your under eyes or like making it feel too heavy. It never pilled with any other skincare or any makeup, and it didn't irritate my eyes either. I have another one of my Tower 28 SOS Daily Rescue facial sprays. And honestly, I think I'm going to keep this bottle and just like refill it with the Tower 28 SOS sprays because it has the Kung Fu Panda on there. I love this. I rave about this. I use it morning and night. It really calms my skin, especially when I'm breaking out. It does wonders for my skin. It really helps to balance it. And if you have any sort of redness in your skin, if you have acne, highly recommend using a hypochlorous acid spray. It just brings your skincare barrier back to where it needs to be in order to receive all of like your soothing ingredients and all of your soothing products. So I really, really love this. And of course, my Sunday Riley UFO acne oil, my acne treatment face oil. I use this every morning in my skincare routine. This is the best salicylic acid treatment serum. This comes in like an oil format, so it's non-drying, even though salicylic acid is known to be drying on the skin. It plays really well with all of my skincare ingredients. I use vitamin C. I use some sort of hydrating serum as well, whether it's like hyaluronic acid or something else. This also works well under my moisturizer. I like to do all of my serums, this included, and then I will do my moisturizer and sunscreen, and I have no issues with it. It is so soothing. It gets rid of all of my tiny little bumps as well as my really big angry pimples. Moving on now to body care. I have this Dove body wash. This is the Hydration Boost body wash. They sent this to me a long time ago, and honestly, this lasted me a really long time. I enjoy this pump. I love a good body wash that has a pump. The ease of use is there. It's so much better to use in my opinion. It has your standard Dove soap scent, so if you've ever smelled like a Dove bar of soap, it smells pretty much like that. You know when body washes are like creamy and ribbony? It was like that basically, and it had such a good lather. I love a body wash that like really, really lathers up on the skin. It just makes me feel really clean. It wasn't stripping on the skin the same way that other body washes may be before you like put your lotion on after you dry off from a shower. It didn't feel excessively drying. I still use lotion after washing my body with this, but I didn't feel the itch or the tight skin feeling with this. And it was overall just a really good staple. I enjoyed this a lot. I have this BOKA toothpaste, and I always have a BOKA toothpaste in my empties. However, this one is the whitening toothpaste. I usually use Element, and still I enjoy the Element more than the whitening one. There is really nothing wrong with this one. I just like the taste of the Element one more. This does have a minty scent to it, but it's more like a spearmint scent than like a sweet mint, you know? I do think that this maintained the whiteness of my teeth because I got a lot of like comments talking about how white my teeth were in person and also online. So I thought like, oh, I haven't done anything to my teeth, but I was using this whitening toothpaste and I didn't connect the two at the time until I had like finished this up, you know, and I was writing up this video. I don't know. I think it definitely maintained it. Maybe it like slightly whitened my teeth a little just because people were saying that my teeth looked really white. My teeth felt really clean, and it has those same ingredients that the Element one has, which is the reason why I love BOKA so much. It's more of a natural toothpaste that actually prevents cavities for me. I have this 100% pure acetone, really nothing special. I use this to remove all my nail polishes. Whenever I use nail strengthener and I want to put on a new layer, or I want to put like a quick nail polish color on, and even whenever I was wearing gel nails a lot, I would use this to soak it off, and it worked perfectly. I definitely recommend 100% pure acetone whenever you're dealing with removing gel nails, because I find that it removes the gel a lot faster with a lot less damage because it's more effective. It's a lot more powerful. We have my Topicals Slather. This is my exfoliating body serum. I've talked about this a couple of times here on my channel because it's my absolute favorite chemical exfoliant for my body. So it comes in a lotion texture. It's a very thin texture. As you guys can tell, I like thinner products that really absorb into the skin. So this is no different. You rub it into the skin and you don't have to sit there and rub rub it into the skin for too long, it absorbs so quickly and easily. You don't even feel this on the skin. It absorbs exactly like a lotion. Other serum products that I've used on the body, I feel have tended to like dry down, almost like this plasticky film like feeling on the body, and I hate that feeling. So this doesn't do that to me at all. It does have a little bit of like a chemical like scent, but it doesn't bother me. I don't know if I just got used to it or I just don't mind it, but I don't really care because this works so well. It makes my body extremely smooth and soft. If you have KP, it just smooths all of that away. I use this the same days I do my chemical exfoliants on my skin, on my face, so it's really easy for me to remember. The only thing that I hate about this, actually, the applicator, if you can see inside the hole, it has that clear stopper in it, and usually like clear stoppers like that, you have to really push and push to get the air out, and then it just like opens and the product shoots out of this. So you have to be very careful with how much you apply. I just do a quick squeeze and I let go right away, and it gives me like a handful of product. So that's the only thing I don't like. It's really hard to control how much you get out of this. That's not enough to steer me away because it works so well. It's such a lush feeling product, and I love using this in place of my lotion as well. All right, I forgot that I emptied this, and as soon as I pulled this out of my basket to like type up my notes for this video, I was like, oh my gosh, I really miss this product. This is the Fenty Skin Butta Drop, the whipped oil body cream. I think it's just the original scent. Oh my gosh, this smells so God. What is it? Is it vanilla? No, it's not vanilla because they had like a limited edition vanilla one, so it doesn't smell like that. I'm really bad with fragrances, but whatever the original one, it smells clean, fresh, slightly floral, or maybe it's slightly sweet. I don't know. This is an incredible body butter. It has like it says, a whipped body butter texture, but it also feels like it has like a body oil strewn through it. So think like when you mix a lotion and a body oil together in your hands, you rub it together and then you put it on the skin. That's basically this, but it's 2-in-1. You don't have to go through 2 products to get that consistency. It's highly, highly hydrating though, and you definitely feel this on the skin. It takes a while for it to actually absorb, so I would recommend putting this onto your body before putting your clothes on, at least 5 to 10 minutes before you're going to put your clothes on, and let it fully absorb into the skin. It made my skin super soft, super hydrated. It layered really well with fragrances. I just love this. There's still a little bit in here. Why did I add this in here? I think I just got tired of using it, which is weird because the Touchland hand sanitizer in the scent Aloe You scent? Why do I keep saying scent? The Touchland Aloe You scent is my favorite. These are super convenient because it does have that spray sanitizer there. You just get as much as you need, you rub it in, it completely dries down. It doesn't feel sticky like some hand sanitizers can. It doesn't leave your hands feeling very, very dried out or anything. I have like a little silicone cover for my Touchland hand sanitizers, and I clip it onto my keys and I bring it with me everywhere. I have one with me at all times. It's the best hand sanitizer, and I just really enjoy the convenience of having the spray hand sanitizer because you don't have to worry about it like getting too hot like in the car or something and expanding, you know, in the container. You don't have to worry about the top like spilling open or anything, and the spray is just really nice because you can deposit exactly how much you need. Lastly, for body care, we actually have this shave oil from Mod. This is their moisturizing shave oil. This was really nice. It was actually my first experience, I think, with a shave oil. I just love Mod packaging. It's so modern and cool. I think it's such a cool brand, honestly. This has a beautiful oil texture, so it does feel slightly like a dry oil when you first apply it to the skin when your skin is dry, but then once you add water, it does have a lot of slickness to it, so you're able to run your razor like down your or up your legs or wherever you're going to be shaving. It's super easy to use. However, I felt like I needed to use a lot of this whenever I used it. Like the dropper would only ever carry maybe a third of product in here, and then I would have to go in a couple times, especially if I was like shaving my legs, you know? So I felt like I used the product a lot. Like I use a lot of it at one time. No, it doesn't have any sort of scent, so it wasn't irritating or anything. I enjoyed it, but I was really paranoid about dropping this in the shower because it is glass. So I wish that it had the same aesthetic, but it was plastic. That's probably the only thing that I would have changed about it. Okay, last we have a couple of hair products, starting off strong with my Amika Soul Food Nourishing Mask. I feel like I had this for a very long time, you guys. I bought it during the Sephora sale, maybe 2022, and it's lasted me since then. It's lightly fruity, a very clean scent. I feel like it's very floral as well in the best way possible, where it's not too aggressive. And this feels like pudding. Like it's a deep conditioning mask, and it's ultra nourishing on the hair, but it also didn't feel like it ever really weighed my hair down, and it just really brought my hair back to life. I feel like it helped to combat any frizz in my hair. I feel like it lengthened the amount of time between having to get my hair cut, because I wouldn't have as much damage and breakage in my hair. I would just use it from like the ear down, work it all the way into my hair, and then whatever was left on my hands, I would just like quickly run through my roots, and that was plenty. And your hair just feels silky soft after using this. It's just the most moisturizing hair mask ever, and something that I like to use once a week, and I would kind of like couple it with the Amika hair mask, was this Fable Mane Wild Ginger Purifying Scrub. This scrub essentially was like a salt scrub for your hair. It has a very unique scent to me. It kind of smells salty, but also sweet at the same time. It has like a very clean scent to it. I love Fable Mane products. I've talked about them a lot on my channel actually, because a lot of their hair care products work really well for my hair. And I feel like this lasted a really long time because you really didn't need a lot of this. I would take maybe just like a tablespoon of this whenever I would use it. Take a tablespoon on my hands. I would rub it in until it got slightly lathered, and then I would work it into my scalp, and I would really work it in, and it was thick enough and it was grainy enough to where it felt like a thick salt scrub on the hair, but it was in an actual, like, I don't know how to explain it. You know the texture of slime when it has like the beads in it? That's kind of what it reminded me of. So it had that creamy texture, but it had the larger like salt crystal texture as well, but it was almost like a 1-to-1 ratio, so it worked really well. It was scrubby enough, and it was also enough lather for me to feel like my hair was actually getting clean. And when I would rinse this out of my hair felt slightly squeaky, but not where it was uncomfortably like squeaky clean. So I felt like every time I would use this, whenever I would get out of the shower, my hair felt very light on the roots. Like I had a lot more volume, a lot more bounce, because my scalp was very thoroughly washed. I'm currently working on another detox scrub, and I don't like it as much as I like this one. So I definitely think I would repurchase this, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get it anytime soon, but genuinely think it's one of the better like scalp scrubs out there. Okay, I just have this travel size Oribe dry texturizing spray. First of all, this smells so good. It just smells like a hair salon. I don't even know how to explain this scent, but it smells really sophisticated. And Oribe is such an expensive brand, you guys. That's why I only have the mini, but this dry texturizing spray works incredibly well in the hair. Whenever you do a blowout, or if you like curl your hair or something, you run your hands and you brush the curls out, and then you spray this in. It gives you exactly the right amount of gritty texture. It does give you slightly grittiness to it. That is necessary in my opinion for texture sprays, because it gives you a little bit more hold than other texture sprays that don't give you a little bit of that grit. You know what I mean? It just keeps the little pieces separated versus turning all into one. Like if you do big bouncy curls or something, you want to avoid all of the curls turning into one big curl. So a texturizing spray like this helps to combat that from happening. This works wonders, but I will say it's definitely out of my price point to buy the full size. So if I could, I would repurchase this, but will I? Probably not, just because it's so expensive. And lastly, I have this Fenty Prime Mist. I'm trying to use up all of like my leave-in detangling conditioner type of products. This one I had purchased when I was working at Ulta, and I just got this mini one. It's really nice. I feel like it helped to smooth out my hair. I don't think it did anything extremely like special on my hair. I didn't notice that it made my hair super soft or anything, but I definitely think that it helped my hair become more manageable, and it gave me a smoother look whenever I would do a blowout. Like I would spray this into my hair, do a heat protectant, and then do a blowout, and I felt like my hair looked really, really nice. Like I said, I feel like I'm just trying to get through a lot of my leave-in conditioners. This was good, but I don't think I'm going to be repurchasing it anytime soon. But I am very curious about a lot of the Fenty products, so maybe I'll explore a little bit more of their brand. All right, you guys, that was everything. Those were all of my empties. I feel like I went through a lot of products this quarter. I feel like every quarter though, I'm starting to use more and more products, which I'm really proud about. Let me know if you guys have any additional questions about anything that I mentioned. Again, I want to give a big thank you to Dalba for sponsoring this video. If you guys are curious to try out that double serum cream, then shop the Amazon Prime Day deals on July 16th and July 17th. And let me know in the comments down below if you have any additional questions about the moisturizer. As always, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, if you found it helpful, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.